Hi, this is Tony Julian, and I'm here to demo a little bit about Project 2. Project 2, you'll be creating a digital image logo comprising of only new elements created in Photoshop. So, how you want to kind of tackle this project is I'll just kind of go over a few basics, which is you kind of want to focus on the um, drawing tools because logos are really vector images. So you really want to focus on the vector tools, the rectangle, the circle, ellipse, polygon, line tool. I'm not going to allow you to use the custom shape tool, which has custom shapes already built in. Um, these will, not really give you a good opportunity to draw in the program. So I don't want you using these pre-built shapes, but you can certainly use these shapes here as well as the shapes created by the pen tool. So for instance, if the first place you kind of want to start is research. So you have to research and do some research on logos. There's some really good websites out there. I like to use the Pinterest. Pinterest, when you pull up Pinterest, you have a plethora of, and if you search logo design in the search box in Pinterest, you'll be able to just see a plethora of different logo examples. Some really simple, some very interesting, some are very typographic, some are focusing on more of an image of an animal. So I want you to really kind of go through the site, and you may find other sites that may be interesting. Here, some other interesting ways to use typography and sketch. And certainly draw and sketch before you start going into Photoshop, so you can kind of get a sense of the process of how you're going to lay this out. What's the name of the company? Here you have a lot of good examples of using type and image together. If you open this a little bit, you can kind of see some of these shapes are not that difficult to actually create in Photoshop. You can kind of create this with a circle, and you can create a banner. The typography is pretty strong. Some of these shapes are not that difficult to create in Photoshop. Certainly, you'll be using color in your design. You try to want to use no more than three colors in your logo design. So it's a really good place to start. This is how I start all my logo designs, and just to get inspiration. Of course, you don't want to ever copy anything directly from the internet. You certainly just gonna want to look at this and just get a sense of how people are putting things together. Here's a good example of how this designer, sketched a lot of his or her ideas before, and took them to the next level. So definitely start with the research. So you definitely use these tools as you create different shapes. You'll notice that you'll have a vector, a layer in your layers panel, and you can certainly adjust colors here, adjust strokes as you see fit. Once you kind of create different shapes, you have the ability by using this direct selection tool to go in and adjust, the shapes of different, the points of different shapes as you see fit. You can hold down one area and drag it down, or you can hold down, entire areas. So you can start off with a simple rectangle, and can create something that's a little bit more dynamic. As you go, if you move away from the layer, you want to re-edit that layer. Make sure you click on make sure you're on the layer, but make sure you also click on this area with the vector tools, and you'll be able to get back to your editing tools. Um, the other kind of cool thing you can do is when you create, you definitely be creating a text tool. So if you created some kind of typography, you have the ability to change the color of that typography. Let's see if you wanted to make it white. And placement, how where you're going to place this typography. The other thing you can do is, once you have two vector shapes, you are able to create layers. And actually, if you created another shape, so let's say create another layer, and we're going to create a circle. So let's say hold on the shift key and create a circle. You can change the color to anything that you want. One interesting things you can do is to create by holding down both layers and going to your layer panel and combine the shapes. And you can subtract the front shape from the back shape, and then it becomes the color of whatever the front shape was. So you can definitely double click on that. You can change to different color. So you definitely can create interesting shapes by positioning other shapes on top of each other and coming up with some really cool solutions. So certainly focus on your, this. Also, you can use the, the pen tool to create different shapes, different shapes as well. Those shapes, becomes another shape layer. And then certainly remember to, name your layers. And then you have the ability to go in and, change the color of that layer. Once you're on that vector tool and you're selected on your layer, you can, move those around any which way you desire. So that's kind of like it for some using the basic shapes. Definitely use your typography. Think about how you can what's the name of your company and how you can make it something interesting. Play with the different spacing, play with the different shapes, and you can come up with something really interesting. Don't forget to definitely document, and you have to write a little uh, synopsis of what the logo stands for and how you came up with the logo and the process, and make sure I put it into a Word document. And when you submit that, definitely submit the Word document along with your. I definitely want to see a PSD file, not just a JPEG, because I want to see how you kind of play with the different layers and stuff. So your layers, you're going to do a lot with layers, and you're going to do a lot with vector images. This particular project. One of the interesting things that you have to understand too, when you're using vector shapes, and even though it looks really blurry and pixelated when you blow it up really closely, that's a Photoshop. That is Photoshop's viewer on the screen. But if you print it out, you'll get a very, very, very sharp edge, a very, very clean vector edge, and you won't see those blurry edges that will look rasterized. And you'll get a perfect vector. So, if you when you do your logo and print it out on a laser printer, if you have, it should work pretty good on an inkjet printer too. You'll see the very sharp edges and very vectorized edges of your logo. So, hope this was a introductory. I hope it was helpful to you. Please send me emails or a discussion if you have any questions about this project. All right, over and out. Bye.